Naveen started a startup based in Bengaluru a few months ago. It was an e-commerce startup which became an instant hit within few times of its arrival. Naveen, who was a CS engineer, looked after the startup alone, but as the business grew, he bought an office and also started hiring other people. He first hired Radha, another CSE graduate who shared his burden of looking after the startup. As time when the startup grew, even more and more people were required to share the burden. Naveen was out on 3-month business trip at that time, so Radha was also interested upon hiring other people based on her contacts. She brought in 2 of her friends, Kiran and Varshav, from her college. As the office grew, there was also need of maintenance of the office, therefore a maid-cum-clerk Amina was hired to look after the cleaning of the office. Naveen returned from his trip few days later. He was sitting in his office when Radha knocked the door. "May I come in, sir?" "Yes, come in, Radha," said Naveen. Radha then went inside along with Kiran and Varshav. Radha then introduced them to Naveen. "This is Kiran and Varshav, both are my classmates from college. Both were toppers, that's why they were the preferred ones for me." "Hello Kiran and Varshav, welcome to my company. Hope you will help us take it to next level." Naveen welcomed both of them. Both thanked Naveen and all of them left for their work. Meanwhile, Naveen was awestruck with Varshav's beauty. She was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. He could not stop gazing her from his office. He had lost himself and thought that if he would ever marry, it would be her. Weeks passed. The startup continued to succeed under Radha and company. Naveen became distracted by his love and tried different ways of expressing it to Varshav. "Varshav," he said, pressing the intercom switch on his desk, "could you bring in those documents for signature now? I'd like to get them out of the way before that client gets here. Oh, and could you make me a cup of coffee while you're at it? Thanks." When she entered his office a few minutes later, a sheet of documents in one hand and a coffee in the other, Varshav looked annoyed. "Is there a problem?" asked Naveen. "With all the work we have to do," she said, putting everything down on his desk, "I shouldn't be wasting time making coffee." "But workers have always made coffee for their boss," said Naveen, nonplussed. "It's part of the job." "Yes, well, it's time that changed. It would be a lot more efficient for you to have a coffee maker in your office." "You can be even more efficient in my bed, Varshav dear," said Naveen. Shocked at hearing this. "You can't be serious, boss. That disgraceful way to talk to your female employer," exclaimed Varshav. "Varshav darling, I am sorry for my tone, but the fact is that I am deeply in love with you. I have been expressing my love indirectly all this time, but you have ignored it. Now I will ask you straightly, will you marry me, Varshav?" said Naveen. Varshav, stunned at her boss's proposal, said, "Sorry boss, I have never seen you in that way. You are almost 10 years older than me. You have given me my first job, have seen you as a father figure till now. Please sir, I can't accept this, and nor can I quit the job. I come from a poor family, my mother is old and ill, my sister is still studying. Please don't fire me." Naveen, though disappointed by hearing this, assured her that this would not affect her job. She left the cabin sobbing. She went straight into the toilet so that no one would notice her. After a while, Varshav went back to her job at the desk. Naveen kept his promise. Even though his love for Varshav never became less, he still didn't bring up the topic with her, neither did he fire her. Varshav was also relieved of the fact that her boss let go of the issue without embarrassing her again. Under the trio of girls startup flourished even more. Few days later, as she was working on a file, Varshav received a call. She had a friend named Raji, who had called Varshav telling her that her marriage had been fixed, and that the wedding card was posted on Raji's FB timeline, so she asked Varshav to check it out and to attend the function. Varshav opened her browser, and instead of searching in Facebook, she absent-mindedly searched Raji in Google. Up came the result: Rajabalan Jimbo, Indian TV page. She understood her mistake and opened another tab and searched her in Facebook, got the card and marked the date in the calendar. After closing the tab, the old tab with Rajabalan's site caught her eyes. She clicked on it and read few lines. After a few minutes of reading, she was totally engrossed in the idea of men being feminized. She went on reading for another hour before lunch, when Radha came to call her. She hastily closed the tab and deleted the history. Over the next few weeks, she was totally into reading TV fiction on Rajabalan and various other sites. She found it exciting and kinky and even imagined her as ruling as a mistress over a TV. It took over her head so much as that she would imagine every boy passing by her on the streets on sari or skirt or just a bra and panty. She almost was thinking about it 24/7 even in the office. Radha and Kiran were also wondering sometimes on seeing Varshav laughing while viewing the desktop and also taking frequent loo breaks. It was February 13th, Radha and Kiran were wondering how to ask Naveen to give holiday the next day as they had promised their respective BFs to be with them the whole day as it was V-Day. They discussed with Varshav and three of them decided to go and ask it to Naveen collectively. They entered Naveen's cabin and Radha told about the request. Naveen was okay with the request as it was off-season and also he knew the feeling of being in love, his one-sided, everything is fair in love, go ahead even if I don't give holiday I am sure you would risk your job and bunk tomorrow, a person in love will do anything and go to any stretch for his loved one he said, with the last line being said while smirking to Varshav. Varshav started blushing, she knew he was referring to her. All three thanked him and left the cabin. As Varshav sat on her chair and went back to reading, she was struck with an idea. In many TV stories the same line of doing anything for you my love said by submissive men, she thought if this could be even done, she could make Naveen her dream pet. She taught for all of the session after lunch. It was 5:30, everyone had left except Naveen and Varshav. Varshav went inside Naveen's cabin, he was wondering why she had come. What's the matter, Varshav? Any problem? He asked. No problem boss, I was here to tell you that I had no plans tomorrow and I had come to ask holiday only to support Radha and Kiran, if you don't mind I will come to office tomorrow, said Varshav. To which Naveen replied, oh, good to see your dedication Varshav, but I have already announced an holiday tomorrow, even Amina, clerk, was told not to come tomorrow. That will not be a problem. I will call Amina and inform about the holiday being cancelled. I have some pending work to be completed tomorrow, that is why I insist on working tomorrow also. Varshav said. Okay then, I will see you at the office tomorrow, nice to see you dedicated to your work Varshav. Naveen agreed. To which Varshav nodded and left his cabin. Both left her house for respective houses. Varshav was beaming with a big smile while entering her apartment. She knew there was a chance for her make her dream come true here. She knew that Naveen was mad in love with her and may even go any distance for her. She then started devising an emotional blackmailing plan to set up her prey. She made a list of items to be bought and then spent rest of evening in shopping for the items. Naveen on the other hand was sad that he had to spend another Valentine's Day alone. He was desperate for love. He was frustrated that even him being so successful girls like Varshav still reject him. He drank to bed regretting his loneliness. The next Valentine's Day morning when Varshav was getting dressed she put on a seductive pair of red lingerie and then proceeded to put on a bright red chiffon sari along with a sleeveless slut-try blouse and high heels which she had bought yesterday. She was dressed to kill, all set to trap her boss. She was the first one to get into the office and sat on her desk trying to act as if working on some file. Naveen entered the office to find it deserted except for Varshav at her table. Amina would always be the first one at office. He noticed that she was not informed by Varshav about the cancellation of holiday. He went and inquired about it to Varshav. Sorry sir, the phone in Amina's house may been not working, so couldn't reach her, said Varshav. Oh, is it? Then we have to manage without a clerk today, he said jokingly and went back towards his cabin. While he was walking he was in sort of trance after seeing Varshav in that seductive sari. Varshav all this while was observing him. She guessed why he went to the toilet and thought she was successful in her first step of seducing him. Naveen could not stop thinking of her. He was looking at her every other minute and couple of his gazes were caught by her. Varshav then thought this was the time to proceed to next step. She stormed into his cabin and asked, "What's the matter, boss? Why are you continuously staring at me?" "No, Varshav, that was just by mistake. Sorry if you are offended," said Naveen. Varshav replied, "I am a girl. I know automatically when someone is staring at me. We girls have the sixth sense. Please tell me what's the matter is so that we can talk about it." Naveen knew he had no option but to confess. "Varshav, you already know I am in love with you. I did stop proposing it to you after your rejection, but I still have mad feelings for you. After seeing you today in this gorgeous sari, I totally couldn't stop myself. Please forgive me if you can, but I want to again propose to you. I want you, Varshav. I will do anything to get you. You can take my company and house. I just need you." Saying this, Naveen knelt on his knees. Varshav acted as if she was dumbstruck. Inside she was in joy. She had caught her prey. Now she just had to see if he can be pushed to the limits she wanted him to. She said, "Naveen, I really appreciate your feelings, but there is one thing that stops me from accepting your love. I am lesbian." Naveen, shocked at hearing this, fell on the floor. "Oh, what? You are so beautiful. How can you be a lesbian, Varshav?" he asked. "Yes, Naveen, I am lesbian. I like to make love to girls, though my lover died few months ago in car accident and I am single now. I wore this sari in her remembrance as she had gifted it to me last V-Day," she said. Now she was acting as if she was crying. Naveen knew now he had no other option. He consoled her. "Oh, sorry, Varshav, I didn't know. You will get someone else, don't worry," and then she left to her desk. As soon as he closed Naveen's cabin door, she sported a cunning smirk on her face. She had completely cooked a story of her being lesbian and her friend dying. She had one final throw of a dice left now. After an hour of thinking, she knocked Naveen's cabin door. "May I come in, boss?" she asked. Naveen asked her to come in. "Yes, Varshav, what is the matter?" he asked. "Naveen, since you are so madly in love with me, I think I have an idea to make things work, to make our love work," Varshav announced. Naveen was surprised at this. "Oh, Varshav, I would do anything to make this work. Tell me," he said. "The thing is that I like to make love to my lover in a dress, and you like me. I think there is a way that this could work, that needs you to do everything I say. Think of this as just you proving me your love and we can make this thing work," Varshav exclaimed. Naveen was curious of what she was talking. "As I said, we'll do anything to get you, Varshav. I will prove my love," he said. "Hear me carefully, this thing will be only between us, I promise. I just want you to dress in female dresses whenever we are together alone. You have to dress totally as my female lover down to your underwear. If you promise me this, I will agree to be your love." Naveen was taken aback for a moment. "How can I dress in women's clothes, Varshav? I am a man, damn it." Varshav, showing slight frustration, said, "How can I date a man? I am lesbian, damn it." "Naveen dear, you will just be wearing dresses. You will still be a man inside. And what's your problem in dressing in private for your loved one? Can't you do such simple sacrifice? I am doing much greater sacrifice of my sexuality by dating a man even after being lesbian." Naveen had succumbed now. His love towards Varshav had pushed him over the cliff. He thinked for a moment. He thought that if he sacrificed this little ego of his, he would finally be able to get Varshav. He stood up and announced his submission to her. "Okay, Varshav, I agree to all your wishes. I just need you, that's all I know. We'll do anything to get you." Varshav was overjoyed. She jumped in air and hugged Naveen and proceeded to give him a long kiss on his lips. Naveen was in heaven. He was finally kissing a girl in his life. "Okay, Naveen darling, from now on you will be my female lover. Whenever you are in female dresses you will be my lover, and when you will be back to male ego, you would just be my boss," she continued. "Do you know what, yesterday night I was remembering my old girlfriend. She came in my dreams and said tomorrow she will meet me and to wear the dress she gave last V-Day. I thought there was no chance of that happening. So for her remembrance I brought her dress with me, to keep it close with me. Now I realize its purpose. Please Naveen, will you be my Valentine?" She knelt on the floor and gave him the bag which contained the clothes. Naveen hesitated for a moment and took the bag from her hands and said, "Yes, Varshav, whatever you say." She stood up and kissed him again. "I will help you with your new clothes, dear. Don't worry," she continued, "to start with, just strip down now. Please don't shy now, I am your lover. I have every right to see all of your body." Naveen was little shy. He was stripping in front of a girl for the first time. He proceeded to strip till his underwear and was hesitant to remove it. Varshav then took the initiative and pulled down his underwear to reveal his erect member. Naveen was now standing naked in his cabin in front of his employee. "Nice one you got there, Naveen dear. Now head towards the toilet, we have a little cleaning to do," she ordered. Naveen in his naked form obeyed her command and rushed to the toilet. Initially he went to the gents' toilet, but Varshav pulled him by his ear towards ladies' toilet. "What are you doing there, silly? Your place is here now." She then applied Veet hair remover to all over his body and removed every strain of hair from his body below his neck. She then proceeded to rub his dry with a towel and tied it in ladies' style. She gave a pat on his bum. "Off you go, doll, let's get you dressed." In the cabin she ordered him to remove the towel and stand straight with his hands lifted above. She removed a pink bra from the bag and inserted it between his arms and clasped it behind his back. She stuffed few napkins inside each cup to get feeling of false breasts. She then proceeded to insert a matching pair of pink panty. Naveen, though was embarrassed, was succumbing to the feeling of satin. He was getting turned on and was in sort of trance state, so he didn't offer any resistance. Add to that, Varshav was giving a kiss on his lips after inserting each clothing. She then proceeded to put the petticoat and a sleeveless blouse similar to hers, and then finally draped a pink chiffon sari on him. She then did a slight makeup on him with the limited make items in her purse, along with some pink lipstick and a shining bindi to go with his sari. Every item selected to put on him was purposely selected as pink. "There you go, baby. You now look presentable, but this is just the beginning. If I get to work with my beauty kit at home, I will make you more beautiful than myself. Look at yourself," she said, giving him a small mirror from her purse. He was shocked at his face. His bright pink lipstick made look like a slut. He still acknowledged her work and said, "Nice work, Varshav, thanks." Varshav was dying with laughter within. Naveen was more submissive than what she had thought. She knew that now she had him firmly in his grasp. "Okay, one final thing. I feel awkward in calling you Naveen, especially when you are in this cute little pink sari. I think you like the color, don't you, Pinky? Oh wow, that's what your name will be, Pinky, understood?" she said, holding his cheeks. "Okay, as you wish," Varshav said. Naveen, "Tell me what's your name, doll?" She started to tease him. "My name is Pinky," he said in a low voice with his head bent down in shame. "Louder, I can't hear you, dear," she said. "My name is Pinky," he replied in higher voice. "Look into my eyes and say your name, confess me your love, and beg for my love for you," she exclaimed. "My name is Pinky, and I love you, Varshav." He started to talk when she stopped him and said, "How dare you call me by my name? You are no longer my boss. You are just my female lover. You are inferior to me now. When I was your inferior, I didn't call you by your name. Now I would like you to call me by madam or ma'am." Naveen was startled by her dominating attitude, but he had succumbed to her to such extent that there was no coming back. He submitted to her domination by saying, "My name is Pinky, and madam, I love you. I will do anything for you to love me back. From now on you are my world. Please accept me as your lover, madam." He fell on her feet. She lifted him to his feet and gave a kiss on his forehead, said, "I accept you, Pinky, but I need to prove your love to me. I want to know to what extent you can go for me. You only have to do what I say without hesitation, and I will keep you happy." As both of them hugged each other. "Okay, Pinky Poo, I have ordered for lunch. It may arrive after an hour. We will have it and leave for your house for some more fun. How about it?" she asked him. "That's okay with me, madam," he said. "But before that, look at the office. Amina forgot to close the main window yesterday, and all the office is covered with dust. If it is not cleaned, then we will not be able to work here. I think we could do with some cleaning, don't you think, Pinky?" she asked. He looked around and agreed, "Yes, madam, but Amina is not here today. What can we do?" "What do you mean by what can we do, Pinky? Don't you have hands and legs that are working? You sure can clean it for the day. I would love to help you, but I am really busy with the work which I told you about yesterday. The broom and the mop is in the toilet if you don't know, she pointed. Naveen put his head down. She knew Varshav was just doing this to dominate him. He went inside the toilet and brought the broom, mop and bucket full of water and started sweeping the floor. Varshav went back to her desk and was having fun at watching her new pet struggling to sweep while working in the sari. She shouted from her desk, "Oh, look at your poor thing, struggling to control your palu. Do one thing, Pinky. Tuck your palu near your waistline inside your petticoat, that would help." He embarrassingly obliged to it. He took almost 20 minutes of struggle to complete sweeping the office and then proceeded to mop the floor using the stick attached to the mop. Varshav, observing this, shouted, No, Pinky, when you mop along with the stick is not that effective. Detach the mop, bend down and mop in traditional way how Indian housewife do in their houses. Be quick, we have 10 minutes before lunch. Pinky could just blurt out, "Sure, madam, anything you say." He bent down and started to mop the floor, and Varshav was enjoying seeing him mop and twirling his hips in the process. As soon he finished, hotel delivery guy knocked the office door. Varshav ordered Pinky to get them money from his wallet. He did it and gave it to her. She took it from him and inserted inside his blouse. "Go, pay him and get the parcel, Pinky. He is just random delivery guy, no harm in going in front of him. Put palu over your head, that will help you cover your identity. Now go," she said, covering his head by the palu. He went and slowly opened the door. "Hello, ma'am, I am here to deliver the parcel you ordered," saying he handed over the parcel to her. Pinky didn't dare to speak and motioned with hands to ask how much. He said 1,400 rupees, ma'am. She embarrassingly removed the money from her blouse and gave him the money and closed the door. Varshav then asked Pinky to serve the food and both of them had a great lunch. Then Pinky asked, "Can I change to my old clothes till we get home, madam?" "Do one thing, Pinks, you remove your sari until we get home, but keep the underthings. I want you to wear lingerie all the time from now on so that you remember your submission to me. You can wear your office things in the day, but when you go back to home you will wear something girly for which we will shop tomorrow. Understood, Pinky Pooh?" she said. Pinky nodded. "Okay, madam, as you wish." He got back to his old clothes and proceeded to fold the sari and keep it inside the bag. He opened the bag to find there were many more items inside the bag. He wondered that it may not be coincidence that she had brought the sari and maybe Varshav had planned all this and trapped him. Before he could speak, Varshav shouted at him, "What are you waiting, Pinky? Let's get going, girl." He left the thought for the moment and followed her to the car parking and both left for their respective houses with Varshav promising him that she will be coming at 8 p.m. sharp to his home to have some more fun.